And there's just so many tools out there. I mean, even me, again, over this last couple of years, I mean, obviously Zoom is something we all had to figure out pretty
Mhm.
quickly, especially in my business, because we were a face-to-face business. And all of a sudden,
Yeah.
you ain't face-to-face. So you either, change or you die, right? It's pretty simple.
I'd love to hear that as a good example. What other tools have you had to adopt in your business?
Oh
Because
my God. I mean, it's wild. Yeah. I mean, Calendly is the one thing that you had talked about. I mean, just even setting up this meeting here with you, how awesome is it that you went and found the date that was right for you? So that saved us time from going back and forth, trying to figure out the right day and time. So I just sent you a link, you picked it. That link automatically is integrated with Zoom. So Zoom automatically set that up for me. Calendly set that up for me. And then the Zoom sent you over the link even through email. That was all
exactly.
automated. And when we get done with this today, you'll automatically get, well, and then you got a text message reminding you 2 hours ago. Did you get the text message?
I did. It was
Reminding
great.
you, yeah, I mean, reminding you, hey, you got this podcast with Daniel today. So it reminds the client, and then as soon as we're done, you'll get a little thank you from me. You'll have a little link. You'll go to a page, and it's actually on my website, and it'll say thank you very much for your time. I mean, all of that is done without me. So that means that I get more time to obviously generate more leads and more clients and more customers, or just have more free time to do what I want to do.
100%. Those examples of like leveraging Zoom, leveraging Calendly, those are great examples. So for those who are listening in, I really hope that they do the same thing. And I'll call it out because you can get started with these things for free. I mean, you don't even have to have the paid offering for Zoom, for Calendly. I'll toss out a couple more in that free library. Things like Vidyard, fantastic tool that lets you record videos right from your browser, from your phone, and send people links embedded in that video. The part that makes it so cool is it's not only easy to record and upload, but you'll get notified when people are watching it. So if we bake that into the example, Daniel, you could have that video get sent to me automatically as a participant, and you'd get notified when I actually watched it or not, which is whoa, so that's super helpful. So that's one I'll toss to. And then things things like Chrome extensions to help you reach out to people. You get things like Hunter, a way to help find people's email addresses to reach out to them. Like if you want to talk about free tools that help get your day more effective, there's a ton of them. And whether someone's an entrepreneur or someone's a sales rep, in the new day, new age, they've got to be comfortable leveraging them. The last one that I'll give, this one, pure bias, this is a tool we've made, free tool though, Kite, KIITE.ai. It's a free sales playbook platform. So if you've got one or two or three or more people on your sales team and you want them staying aligned on the best practices, it's a free way to help them share their stories, their anecdotes, their battle cards. And yeah, then you've got it right at your fingertips. And same thing, these are all free tools that people can be using and sales teams do all the time.
I love it. I mean, this is the thing that I'm really interested in because I just feel like the old system is outdated. The old way of doing things, the old way of prospecting, the old way of generating clients, the old way of meeting people is just different. And the truth is, in the old days, you would meet somebody out in the about, and you
Mm-hmm.
generate a lead and make a new friend or whatever, or you'd put out an ad somewhere, and it would be in a newspaper or the penny saver or whatever they were back then. And then you go, well, people are now either they're going to die or they're going to change. And people
Mm-hmm.
need to start adapting to the new way of the world because to me, it's fun. And the one thing I want to say about that is not only is it fun, it brings happiness because when you learn how to use a new tool, like I'm learning how to all these new apps. I'm learning how to invest differently. Obviously, I'm investing a little bit into crypto now, just a small percentage of my portfolio. But you have to learn how to use these apps to even put the damn money in some of these apps. It's complicated. It's like, what the hell do you have to do?
Treating a
So
wallet and a cold wallet and yeah.
yeah, it's like what the so and again, I'm only 47. I mean, I can't imagine if somebody no 46, sorry, 47 this year. But I can't even imagine somebody that's 60 years old. This is daunting for them. So
Yeah.
a school like yours though is going to give them access to learning a lot of this stuff. Am I right? I mean, how do you guys teach and integrate this into your process?
You're absolutely right. I mean, at a surface level, like, yeah, we use all these tools, we share them, we use Zoom for our classes, we give people access to, we're using HubSpot, we're using Salesloft, we're checking out Mailshake, we're using Hunter, we're using Kite, we're using Vidyard, we're all of these things. The big thing though is it's a safe space. One of the first classes that we emphasize and we talk about is no stupid questions. And I can't emphasize enough how important it is. I'll give you an example. I mentioned earlier software as a service. SaaS. Inside the industry, we usually say SaaS. Yeah, I run a SaaS company. It's a SaaS platform. How many SaaS subscriptions do we have? One of our first students, first class, we open up the doors and we say, hey, why'd you join Uvaro? And amazing sales rep. The guy's been selling security solutions in Winnipeg, Manitoba, door to door. He's like bitter, cold, and he's been crushing his sales quotas. He's got grit. And he says, Joseph, I can't wait to get a job at an SaaS company. And we say, no stupid questions. Hey, by the way, we usually say SaaS. And the reason I emphasize that is I'll talk to VPs of sales at technology companies and I share that anecdote. And half the time, that head of sales kind of chuckles or laughs and goes, well, if they said that in the first interview, there wouldn't be a second. Like, come on. It's such an interesting place of privilege where we've got this talent deficiency. There's not enough sales reps to help tech companies grow. But at the same time, because somebody spells out an acronym instead of saying it, you're not going to give them a second interview. Like, what the hell's going on? So yeah, to speak to that, somebody who's 60 and hasn't used the tool, somebody who's fresh out of the school and only ever read the phrase SaaS, they don't know. So we have to create a safe space for people to ask those questions. This is the only way to grow.
Yeah, I mean, and look, there's a lot of people that are going to change industries. In my business, people come in all over the place. There was construction workers that today are mega successful. There were school teachers that make big money today, and it was all because they decided to adapt and change and learn a new vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
And if nobody ever teaches you the right way to do something or the right vocabulary, how the hell are you ever going to know? How do you ever get a chance if you don't start somewhere? And we all got to start somewhere at some point. And so this is good stuff. I mean, I do want to ask you a little bit about leadership, because I'm sure you guys teach leadership at your school, and I don't know if you do, but I'm assuming, I hope you do a little bit. Does leadership come into play at all? Do you guys teach that at all?
It's an interesting one. I would not say it's a leadership program, because if someone's looking to develop leadership skills, there's way more than we can cover in our program. But one of the things that we do emphasize is every sales team, when they're looking to hire people, one of the top skills they're looking for is leadership. So we have a number of areas that we hop on. We talk a lot about how do you do peer mentorship? How do you give feedback in constructive ways? Really importantly for our team, though, we also talk a lot about how do you be authentic in your leadership. And that's a really hard one. It's a really tough one because everyone who's in our program comes from a different background, a different experience. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge for us to say, hey, do this thing, because that may or may not be authentic for them. Instead, we try to give really good examples. So we open up a lot of our classes to the public so that folks can participate and see what we're doing. How do you walk the talk? How do you live the talk? And we try to give a really good example for how you can kind of, in a work experience, kind of wear your values on your sleeve. How can you let people see what you stand for? How can you be honest with what you stand for? And how do you find an organization where that fits in well so that you can be authentic in your everyday workplace? And we spend a lot of time in that, because if you can't do that, it's really hard to be a leader in the workspace. And so we try to give people a safe place to to build that muscle. It's foreign to a lot of people. So we let people practice it in the way they write, the way they speak, the way they present. And we see it every time. You should attend one of our demo days. It's every month. The class graduates. 4 of them participate in a sales pitch competition, and watching the way they bring themselves into that sales pitch. Every time our judges, who are sales leaders from outside, they come in and go, oh my goodness, wow, I wish our teams did more of that. And they're setting that example, and they're leading by example in their work. It's so cool.
Thank you for watching our short clips on Alonzo Academy. If you'd like to watch the next short clip, click here. If you'd like to watch the entire podcast, click here.